Johhny Bollock. Dame Johhny Bollock was unfortunately born in a small town in Mississippi in 1962 to his parents, Dickie Stiff and William Bollock, known to his clients as Biggie. Shortly after his birth, which had come as quite a shock to the Bollocks, Johhny and his man-whorish she-male daddies moved home at the request of an angry mob and sought wealth and a new life in the beautiful hills of Hollywood. However, it wasn't long before the family discovered that hills are made of mud and provide little shelter, so they bought a house instead. Sadly for the little Bollock, being born outside of wedlock to a couple of bummers made it hard for him to be accepted by the other children and earned him the nickname Bastard Bollock. So, Johhny spent his youth trawling the back streets of the city, hanging around stage doors in search of friendship. Until at the age of 17 when he met up-and-coming actor Gunter Sanchez, who at that time was singing in the 12-piece jazz folk ensemble Speculum. Sanchez took Johhny under his wing, showing him how to play the oboe without using an oboe, and the two became inseparable and had to go to hospital. After seeing his mentor's band perform, Johhny was desperate for a taste of stardom, and so the group took him on board. Their unique sound generated a lot of major label interest despite being about as lively as an orgy in a nunnery, and led them to signing a contract with Jizzbolt Records. Although their debut album, Jazz Machine, was undoubtedly fucking shit, the band continued to tour the South until Johhny pumped Gunther to death after a heated discussion over creative control. By the time he was arrested for the murder, Johhny had successfully renamed the band Johhny Bollock and the Buttfloods, played every bar in North America, and scared the remaining members into disbanding after repeated threats of pumping. In 1989, Johhny Bollock was charged with the murder of Gunter Sanchez and sentenced to 15 years for pumping with malicious intent, regardless of his plea of sexual insanity. While in prison, he assumed the role of the daddy, and, pumping his way to the top, gained the respect of the other inmates. With his newfound status, Johhny had a relatively easy time in prison, apart from a brief stint in solitary confinement for viciously pumping the warden on a stairwell. Upon his early release, earned for goo behaviour, Johhny found a job as a fluffer, which he did well, and was eventually spotted by director Max Wang, who included him in a number of projects. Among his film roles were Anne in 8 Inches from Heaven, Sister Margaret in Horny Nuns 12, and Mrs. Jenkins in Butch Flaccidly and the Bum Dance Kid. Shortly before his hilarious death in 2021, Johhny received his damehood in a very short ceremony from the Queen, who didn't know what the fuck was going on. Sources close to Fuckingham Palace have reported that Her Madge was heard whispering, "Look, one doesn't know who you are or what the fuck you want, but if one gives you a damehood, will you just fuck off?" Thankfully, Dame Johhny Bollock died after 6 years of delicious suffering caused by 21 wounds received while pumping uncontrollably in an Amsterdam brothel.